Thank you for tuning into the Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Arael Marrocco. Peter is the director of the 12th Division of the ACIO, Advanced or Alien Contact Intelligence Organization. Jessica is a galactic liaison and interdimensional seer. Together, they will discuss the most current updates from the ACIO, Council of Five, and other extraterrestrial sources. Make sure to post your questions and comments below. Disclosures, insider intel that keeps you updated with planetary changes.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today on Disclosures. And we have another update coming from Peter the Insider, who has been on another mission. And we've had some discussions while he was on that mission, and just updating what was happening at the present time and how he was stuck in that reality. And now he is out and things are going in a positive direction. So without further delay, let's bring you in, Peter. Hello, Peter, and why don't you greet the listeners?
So I want to say hello to you and Jessica and to all of our regular, maybe not so regular listeners. So what happened? In the first place, in reality, I don't know if I can call it reality, context existence, rather call it that way. We were stuck, we as members of Unit 374, we were stuck somehow in there. There was pure chaos, pure mayhem, and then there was this pineapple-ish shaped hive, you know. What was, and this is crazy, or this will be crazy, what was maintaining somehow this reality, and this is absolute, like, what the heck, this is next level crap. It was maintaining chaos under control with this, like, what in the world, how is this possible? Yes, like it or not, it was like that. And then once Queen Elizabeth II died, someone somehow succeeded to steal crown jewels. I mean, let's say original ones, my bad. And those, I mean, why in the world they are so important for this pineapple shaped hive? Very easy. There is very easy answer for this question, because those jewels are serving as some sort of stabilizing system, let's say key part of stabilizing system, and that was a problem, because once you are missing key part, that's a problem. And this is it. Chaos was getting out of control. Isn't this crazy? Once chaos is getting out of control. No, sorry, I'm laughing because you know what I mean. Chaos is chaos in the first place. And how the heck in the world chaos can get out of control? Well, because chaos can be organized in some sort of very odd and very weird way. And there were some abnormalities in this mayhem and whatever, and it was goddamn complicated once we even get to this knowledge that what kept this hive, pineapple shaped hive, how can I say that, under control or in stable mode. So that was the first part of the mission. Then once we got that, like, okay, this is the problem, and it was absolutely crazy. I don't want to say impossible, but it was, let's say, mission impossible, and I don't know what, like, which kind of episode of this movie can it be, you know. So that was pretty much like that, right? And somehow, and this is it, out of nowhere, because there was those those kind of tentacles, if we want to call it that way, of this huge totally abnormal wormhole, like, let's say, octopus shaped wormhole. What is absolute nonsense. Wormhole can't be octopus shaped. Normal wormhole. Definitely not. It can't be. It doesn't seems right. That's not, no, it's not how normal, or let's say standard, wormhole looks like or should look like. So that was it, pretty much, right? And then how, quotes in quotes, magically they disappeared. The crown jewels, we saw, we literally saw how one of these tentacles, so that means that means the one of the ends of this wormhole literally spit out. It was some sort of box. You don't know, like, what in the world is that box? And in this box, inside the box, were those crown jewels. That was next level crap. Like, what in the world is that? So let's say it looks pretty much that everything of this was planned somehow.
Yeah.
The question is, who did that? Why? How? And multiple, plenty other questions. It's crazy.
Oh, I think you got muted.
No, I just want to, or let's say, I believed that you want to ask something or whatever.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I thought you got cut off for a moment. All right. So just to do an overview, because in order to describe what some of these things look like, you're using a reference to a pineapple, which everyone can imagine the shape of it and everything, but it's literally not a pineapple. It is
Yes.
an actual system, or it's like a hive mind system that exists in this other reality that you went to.
Yes.
And you got to this reality through this other space where you stepped into that had all of the videotapes. So
yes, this room, huge room with no. Let me correct, please. Let me correct you, please. Not only videotapes. Some of them were wide variety of different types of videotapes, DVDs, Blu-ray videos. So disc, it looks like a CD, audio CD, but or different, let's say, different. Diameter-ish. It looks like audio CD, but so plate, but different diameter, Then USB sticks or whatever. It was absolutely weird. The whole room has very weird vibe from from the very start, I was like, what in the world is wrong here in this room? Something is weird. And no, this will not gonna end well. And then, as I said, we were simply, like suck into this whatever it was. I don't know how can I call it. It was crazy.
So, this was a part of one of the missions that you went into this space, and then you ended up in another reality. But this reality is also impacting our present reality now.
Yes, that's true. That's true. Heavily impacting. Yes.
And
Yes.
as you said, while you were there, Queen Elizabeth died, or I don't know, whatever
Let's say,
she is.
let's say that there was some sort of, there was. It created some sort of, how can I call it? Imbalance or so. I don't know if I am saying it right, because it is not because of language barrier, but I can't get proper word, or I will be not able to get proper words even in my own language, in my mother tongue. It's like, what in the world was that? We were able to, because we as organization ACIO, we've got some sort of sensors, meters, and whatever, and for vibrations, it was like, what in the world is going on here? This doesn't make any sense. Like, yeah, this will not gonna end well, and bam, it ended up like that,
Right. And so then the whole team ended up over there, Unit 374, and they were helping you along with Lincoln Clay.
Helping, but we were like, what in the world is that? Like, none of the stuff was making any sense. It's like, what the
you couldn't get out of there. You couldn't leave, right?
Nope. It was the strangest stuff what we ever encountered as a soldiers, as a people. Like, what the heck is going on?
This was the strangest thing, because you've talked to me about a lot of different things, and you're saying this is the strangest.
Yes, but it is like you've got a matrix, literally. You've got millions of billions of the doors, and every single door, once you open it, you ended up in some sort of very weird loop.
Oh.
You can't get every single time once you open a different door, you can't get in the loop. You can't. It doesn't make any sense. It was.
Is it like a back room? Like back rooms?
Some sort of aspects of back rooms, pretty much. Yeah.
Now, you talked about this other object, this wormhole, but it had tentacles, and it made me think of Hydra. The symbol of Hydra.
Yes, and I want to ask you, why in the world people are, and I will say it loud, so stupid that they don't believe they don't believe that mythological, how can we call them, beings variant, that they didn't exist. That's my question. Why in the world they are so stupid? And I will not watch my language. I consider them stupid because once people were talking about certain stuff, they were not making things up, like, completely, okay? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. No, I think that the reason why some of the history from ancient Greece, which was very important for humanity, the history was called fables or lore, and even in some of the other earlier civilizations, like in Ireland and England and the Middle East. And so they were, like the Middle East talked about jinn, and So they were discarded because then formalized religion came in, which didn't fit into the paradigm, and they needed to structuralize religion in order to get people to conform to a set of norms or practices. And so all of that other stuff didn't fit in. They couldn't make money off of it. They couldn't, have people go and have to make payments every week to the church or whatever. So they had to discard everything else as lore. And so then we, over years and years.
Give me a second. Besides, they know that it was really like that.
Did they actually? I don't think they really cared.
Yes, I mean, despite, sorry, my bad. Despite they know that it really happened that way.
Yeah, I think they deliberately try to erase or get rid of a lot of belief systems, and especially, you could see an example of that with the Crusades, when the Catholic Church or some of the monarchy from Europe would go into, say, South America and then tell them none of that stuff is real, only, their form of Christianity was accurate. And so trying in many ways to erase the history, because then they could not control the people if they had their own belief systems. And they didn't understand, instead of trying to learn or understand that they have their own views, they conformed it to fit into
you mean like that, conform? Give me a second. You mean conform by force?
In some cases by force, some cases by humiliation, or people would be cast out of communities, and which is like a one religion order, in a way, kind of controlling.
Oh, no, I understand. Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
So I think that part of it was it was a process of eliminating other belief systems, and so unfortunately, people over this time actually believed that those were fabricated stories, but yet we continue to read about them in school. But they made sure to fill in that, oh, these are not real. This information is not real. And so I even believed that when I was younger, but I remember looking through a book of the Norse gods and saying, it just feels real to me. I just feel like I know this. And as time went on and I started to, have recall or have visions, and I would see many of these ancient gods, and then, have a recall of different times, different time periods. But yes, it started off that way. And then I realized that, they're lying to us. They're straight out lying to us. These beings are still around. They're still here. And you know what? I think a lot of them didn't care that humanity didn't worship them or didn't follow everything. I think they were just still helping from behind, some of them, and some of them were nefarious, and they will continue to be nefarious and show up in different ways. Kind of like the Poseidon, shows up in Starbucks and, in places like that where they kind of get into our society.
You know what? Actually, this is actually good grading example. Yep. No, I mean, because are those people, and I will not watch my language, okay? Are those people that stupid, Jesus Christ? You know what I mean?
And when they have these spaceships, they name them after a lot of the gods. Like recently, they were doing an launching one called Artemis.
Or so Apollo, and this Apollon, just by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right?
Yeah.
The Jesus, you know what I mean? It's so.
It will always come through because they're around and they're not going to believe.
It's childish.
It's part of the control system. It's those that didn't like them, or that they didn't like humanity. They wanted to control humanity, in in a universal one mind thought, which kind of reminds me of the hive mind that you were looking at, which I don't know what that hive mind is contributing to all the timelines. But I don't know if you picked up anything of what that Hive-mind was doing. And you said at first it was bad.
Stabilizing the whole system. Stabilizing the whole system.
So like the technical part of the system and making sure things are running correctly, or belief system.
This is it.
So the chaos that you.
Sorry, I'm laughing because this will sounds like total nonsense. It is like making sure if that chaos is running correct. Sorry, I'm laughing because it's total crap.
So it was really crazy.
Chaos could not be running. But do you know what I'm trying to say? Sorry, I mean I can't stop laughing about that because I know what I'm trying to say. How chaos can be running correctly. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's like, what in the world is that crap about?
You can't get rid of chaos. Well, you can get rid of chaos, I guess, but yeah, chaos cannot run correctly. That's probably not the right way to say it. It doesn't make any sense.
Give me a second. They believe it.
You mean organized chaos? Organized chaos? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, but give me a second. They believe that this is the way how not the way how things can be right or can be functional. How things how system should be functional, fully functional. Like what? You know what I mean? It's like next level crap. Jesus Christ.
So did you notice a difference? I mean, when you got the last jewel in, did it really look significantly better after the last jewel got put into the?
Do you know what? Yes. Do you know what? Yes.
Yes.
I mean, it's for you, okay. It works better. The super, or let's say the hyper complicated pattern of getting things, or let's say of moving things more complex within the chaos had more sense, or got more sense. Jesus Christ, this is nonsense. I'm still saying that this is nonsense because it sounds like total crap, but it's.
So Peter, describe how did you see the chaos play out there? What was actually going on that you could see the chaos?
Because there was no there was no, how can I say that? Do you know what I mean? You know, it's like there was pure liberty, but quotes in quotes, pure liberty means that it is not like I've got right. Do you know what I mean? Right for this, right for that, blah blah blah. But even once you want to do something, there was a police, for example, or army, but nothing. Like once you want to do something, screw that. You know what I'm trying to say? Nobody cares about that.
So I brought up the movie Idiocracy because.
But give me a second. Do you know what was crazy? Because, for example, once you kill somebody, but it was eye for eye. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Or teeth for teeth. That means like if somebody kill your mother or your brother, you will kill him or her. Period. Bye bye. It was that kind of crap.
It was not policed at all, so there was no.
No, nothing. That was kind of odd for me.
So I was talking to Michael, who is part of the Unit 374, and he brought up the movie Idiocracy and how that in the future we degrade mentally, and or there's a lack of education. People are not educated, and people are very insultive. They get angry if other people are educated, and they are very almost like impulsive. They'll just do whatever they feel like doing without any parameters. So they decide they want to hurt somebody, they just do it at that moment and then they walk away. And so there's nothing that's policed at all. And it's kind of a comedy, but I do see remnants of that in our society right now, unfortunately. And it sort of sounds like that form of chaos, because you could see that the chaos becomes so dominant that they have trash everywhere, like mountains of trash, like no one knows how to manage or handle anything, and that they don't know how to farm anymore, and they're just doing things that don't make any sense, or their priorities are more very carnal, very how can I say it, not thought through. They're just like very impulsive. And so that type of chaos, it looked like chaos in the movie. So, but I'm not saying that in that reality that you were in, the people were not very intelligent. I mean, maybe you can tell me about that.
No, that was the problem. They were intelligent, but problem is nobody cares, you know? Nobody cares about nothing, pretty much.
Now, did you get in any situations while you were there? Did you have any run-ins with some of the people, or were you underground, or were you interacting with them?
What do you mean by any situations?
Conflicts? Any conflicts?
No. They were just how can I say? They don't care about anything, pretty much. They were just, how can I say that? Bohemic life. Do you know what I mean? Like they were living for the moment. Do you know what I mean? This ancient Roma, carpe diem. That means, do you know what I mean? Like artists, they don't care about anything, pretty much. Like they just want to live here and there. Do you know what I mean? I was like, what in the world is that?
Kind of nomadic, like nomads, or
Pretty much something
bohemian,
like
or
that.
gypsy.
Yeah,
Did you
pretty much something like that. Pretty
Yeah,
much.
bohemian or
Yeah.
gypsy. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but you weren't underground. You were there amongst them.
No. We weren't underground. Yeah, we were not.
And they don't notice that you're different in any way.
Do you know what? They immediately got. We were from quotes in quotes. What it was? Another parama. So it was like another paradigm, you know. But they were not even able to pronounce it correctly or whatever. And they were using heavy drugs and whatever. But the problem is that. Sorry, what?
So then it wasn't that important to them because they were using heavy drugs. So you were just sort of there, but they didn't really get paranoid or really investigate you at all.
But you know what was problem? Do you know what was problem? We are calling them in our culture in Middle Europe. Once someone is that heavy alcoholic, that it is leveler. That means like he or she can have some promille, you know, of alcohol, and it doesn't necessarily mean a problem for those people. And they always were, you know, in trip with the drugs or drunk or whatever. And I was like, what in the world is that crap about? They were, you know, very tiny percentage of people, they were normal. And they lived in very closed, let's say, they call them nearbies, like, you know, isolated communities or whatever. That was absolutely crazy. I don't know how. The whole reality was weird.
Is it a year like in our future, or is it something different from that?
What? Please, can you?
Is it in our future?
Ah, yeah, it was future, but not our quotes in quotes our future. Like, how can I say that? Not our future. We are heading to. Let's say it that way.
It's like another timeline, and it's their
Yep.
future.
Yep. Definitely. But still, though, it was crazy. I feel bad for them. Nobody, nobody, you know, deserves such a crap.
Right. No, I feel bad for them too. It sounds like it wasn't good. But it will get better now that you fixed that part of the Hive-mind pineapple structure.
Oh, yes, 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 yes. Because a lot of those people, or older one, they call them elders, oh, or you know, you know, hawk, and the hawk in English is Adler in German, and elder and elder like older. Do you know what I mean? But they were not able to correctly pronounce the words, and they mixed up languages and blah blah blah. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And that's Jesus Christ. It took some time for us to understand what the heck they want to talk about, you know. You know, no, I'm not kidding you. I am not. And that was crazy, Jesus. So they were talking about older people, and they remember older times when not everything, but most things were much better and all kind of that stuff. And they were talking about the stuff once the reality were not sorry, it was like we're not at this that, and I mean they were talking about parameters, and they were talking about multiple realities, how they were merging together and how they created their reality and whatever. It was total crazy, Jesus. And try to think, it was like for somebody from Western Europe or from US or from Canada and whatever to go to Middle East, to Islamic countries, or to Japan, for example. The cultures, we absolutely have no goddamn idea, no goddamn clue how they are thinking. And once you believe, you at least have some basic idea how they are thinking, how they do their own stuff, and you will fall like, from airplane with no parachute. Do you know what I mean? It's something like that. So once we get like, okay, that's what they are thinking, and it was like a punch through our faces. Do you know what I mean? That was it. It was crazy, Jessica. It was absolutely crazy. And do you know what it was? I will say you something. Great school for our lives. Believe me. Great school.
You mean you learned a lot from being in that reality?
Yes. We learned a lot. Believe me, a lot.
What does this mean for us right now that you had corrected that problem? Because we still have plenty of problems here.
That's a problem. I can't say how long will take once bleed roots will stop to get through this. Do you know what I mean? Through those weak spots. You know what I mean? I don't know. I can't say. I can't say. Or let's say I can't promise because I am not expert in this field. Do you know what I mean?
Well, there are people. There are people that try to predict and say this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and then it doesn't happen. And even though they know that it's not going to happen, they're still doing that and getting everyone kind of putting their energy into these ideas, which is, it's not helping any. It might even be making things worse. I was listening to a recording about John Titor and how he said that we're a society right now where we're not, learning or figuring things out, and that in the future they see us as a problem that caused, set things into motion. And, other things like he was talking about weather, like things happening in Florida, which then that big hurricane came. And you said that you've interacted with John Titor, and did he
give me a second. Give me a second. John is legit, okay? He is legit, guys, okay? He's legit. He is legit. Period. End of story. He's legit.
I don't know why people dislike him, because what he said was pretty sensible, and he also could see the problems that we're having with. He was trying to warn us, and I think whoever didn't want him around really tried to discredit him, because if you listen to his message, it sounds very much like what's going on here. So, and I agree with you. I believe he's legit. So you've interacted with him, or has he worked with the ACIO?
Yep. Yeah.
And you said he was afraid of people because probably they would try to get certain authorities after him, and he couldn't come out at certain times. And not that I would blame him, because
they want to kill him. They want to kill him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, okay? This is kind of crap. This is crap, jeez.
It's not easy being the one to have to introduce information and then putting yourself in a situation that it's dangerous, and then on top of that having people mock it or not take it serious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of... Oh, Jad. Yeah, you are right. It's... But being mocked, it's pretty much the smallest problem, believe me.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if you have a little bit of a tough skin, you say, well, hey, I warned you, I let you know. And if you discard this information, then that's your choice. But yeah, you hurting my feelings, maybe not. But the ones that can actually, get a hold of you and harm you, that's a different situation.
Yes, that's true.
And I was recently talking to this man who had a dream about someone using a pen to like hit somebody, with the pen, and like a little tiny speck of an object came out, and it could implant or kill them. And it made me think of that trip that I had in the Netherlands, where I was driving in a white van showed up and pointed at me, and something hit the I could feel it. It kind of actually penetrated right through the windshield and hit me around my chest. but I think it was
And
Maxine
was
that.
it that bad? I mean, what you was hurt or what?
Yeah, I remember Maxine switched the time. She knew it was going to happen, and she shifted the time for me. And but I did get sick from it. But I nothing worse happened. So and you had warned me, and they had warned me that something like that was going to happen.
But I never. You know that I never lied to you. You know it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that saved my life, I'm sure, because I could see it happening. And you know, he didn't have like a weapon in his hand that I could see. He just pointed at me. And it was weird because they drove ahead of us, and then he turned around in the vehicle and he pointed at me like that, and I could literally see the hit on the windshield, but then it didn't stay on the windshield, and it went through and hit my heart area.
Crap.
But
That's
I was
kind of
okay.
crap.
Yeah, that happened years back. But so what's worse? People saying that they don't believe you, or be in a situation like that where it's actually very dangerous. So I would I agree with
But
you, Peter. I mean,
you know, there are so many people claiming that they've got the true or whatever, that I can't blame people that they don't believe me. It's, hey, it's their own free will who will believe, who will they believe or not. It's their own
yeah,
free will.
yeah.
I'm just saying, you know.
I think that, you know, if people would listen to some of your the older interviews that I did with you and heard some of the information you said, a lot of it's playing out. And we've said this over and over again, that, you know, if people were, if they were understanding what was happening and then believing what was happening, then they could actually change the situation, I believe, shifting the hive mind in a way to something a little bit more positive than what we're experiencing.
That's another part of the problem here. Yeah. I
So,
was I just want to say that was so crap, such a piece of crap. That that real this sorry, their reality, because nobody cares, you know, about anything. They were not able to pronounce word or write word correctly. Sorry, words. But I mean word as single words. Do you know what I mean? The sentences doesn't make any sense, or they mixed languages. Do you know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
It was,
And that
yeah.
can happen. That can happen if you have nothing but chaos. There's no room for education and structure and learning, and for people to communicate well. There's no interaction, and the youth especially bringing a whole other generation of
And do you know
problems.
what was crazy? So many people, once we are talking about that, so many people were acting, and of course adults, okay? I'm saying people, but of course children are people too, but my bad.
Yep.
Adults, and literally were acting childish. It looks like, how can I say that? Like now we've got what's they've got YouTubers, influencers, and all kind of that stuff, and it looked like all of them were just doing that. Do you know what I mean? Looking at that stuff, and it was like, where is my bubble bob, and all kind of that crap, and I was like, what is that? And then they got like a, do you know what I mean, like bubble bob and all kind of that crap, and they've got, everything was thrown Thrown, sorry. I mean, turned 180 degrees, upside down, thrown up, whatever, and they just, nah, where is my ice cream? And like, what? You know what I
So,
mean?
is it possible, Peter, that some of this behavior is part of the mind control program that we've been discussing earlier?
I don't know, it looks like that. I don't want to say yes or not, but it was so crazy. It was like, it was like after, so it was not post apocalyptic shoot went going on in their reality. Those slum, do you know what I mean? Like super poor people and whatever, and even there were not street fights. Do you know what I mean? In slums and whatever. No, they just don't care. They don't care about anything. They were just smiling. Do you know what I mean? Making parties. Do you know what I mean? Like fiestas in Spanish speaking countries, or bouzouki in Greek people are calling it, like party. Do you know what I mean? And whatever. And I was like, what in the world is going on? What's wrong with you people? And
so they were ignoring the problems and they were just partying. Is that where you were?
Something like that.
Yeah.
They
was
even
there
were
like a? Oh, excuse me, Peter. Was there a difference in class? Like, the very wealthy, and then
no.
the very.
I mean, do you know what? They were like, they've got like expensive car or whatever, as it was easy, top shop dressed man, and there were those people, they have no goddamn nothing to eat, and they've got like 100 banknotes, and they just I don't know, few grands, few thousand, just throw them out to the street and whatever. It was so crazy, Jesus. It was so weird. Everything was so weird. None of this make any sense.
Did they look like regular people there?
As I said, do you know what I mean? Like sharp dressed, so that means, of course, that it was able to differ to understand that they were rich, but normal people, I don't want to say normal, but in our reality, most of the rich people, they don't give just out of nothing a huge amount of money to poor people or whatever, and they did such crazy stuff for normal, let's say, on daily basis or whatever. Everything was so weird there. None of the stuff had, I don't know. We were shocked. Like, do you know what I mean? How can I say that? It was like if something will not surprise us, then it will be a surprise for us. It was like that.
You were constantly being shocked, maybe, of what you were seeing. That's what you're saying?
Yes. It was like none of this wasn't making any sense for us. Like, what? Yes.
So now that the mission is done and you are back, are you engaging in any other new missions, or is there something else?
No. I will stay here, and I will make a crazy long report, because I was like on 3 long-term missions. You know what I mean? Because pretty much that was the reason why we were making shows not so frequent, let's say solely. Do you know what I mean? Very solely. And I said, like, nope, not so ever, definitely not. I will not go on any long ass mission. Sorry for language, but definitely not. And they say, okay, I mean they in our HQ headquarters, and okay, so I will make on and on, like special reports about that.
Yeah, you've been very busy, and people want to hear what's going on, especially now. There's a lot going on, but we understand. I mean, I think it's necessary for you to do this work, and also.
But do you know what? Pretty much, it's good, because besides that, I mean, writing those reports for ACIO, I will have time, because it will be like double work. That means, like, yes, once I will move on and on and on with those reports, I will have pretty much solid material, for our shows, and that will be a great opportunity to make them. Not a big deal.
Yeah, because there's always a lot to cover, Peter. There's always a lot.
Yes, that's. But this mission was out. I was like, crap! What the heck is that?
And maybe we can do another roundtable for you to share what
but
you saw that unit said.
And you said we were talking it offline or off. Sorry, not offline. Off air, right?
Mm-hmm.
That I was asking you, like, what in the world was that? Like, what was the entity or whatever? And you said very weird thing that the whole. No, what was the subject or the key for next level, the door? And you said, okay, the key part was the whole room, and I was like, what? Do you know what you remember that, right?
Yeah, the room was the key.
And that was the stuff, the talisman or whatever. How can we however we want to name it? And that's the question. Do you think that it was pre-planned? The whole set was a setup or what?
No, I feel like it was set in motion, almost like, when you you kind of go through one door and then a series of things start to happen, but maybe it would have been different if you went through another door.
You mean like chain reaction or what?
Chain reaction, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it started with the anomaly within the place with the video games. That was where the first anomaly was. Right?
You mean video footages?
Time anomalies. Yeah, the time anomalies started there.
Yes, that was crazy.
And it just went like a clock. It goes right, and then before you know it, it assigns or aligns with whatever place that you end up going.
That was Jesus. Like, how in the world? Because I was immediately, once we went there, like, yeah, that was bad. And then the clock, as you know, we are calling it. I mean, I got to this phrase in London. I don't know, but I heard that in certain part of US they were using it. And here in Land Down Under, in Aussie land, in Sydney, people are using it a lot. Once things starts to act weird, it's like something, and it is like making bananas. Do you know what I mean? The clocks were making bananas, like, and I was like, what in the world is that crap? Because they were like, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's kind of like in our reality, like, you ever like leave the house and you say, I have this feeling I shouldn't go to this place today, and you go, and then everything goes wrong. Like, it just goes into like this, one series after another of weird issues or problems.
Yeah, and once, do you know what? Holy crap. That was maybe the, oh no, that was maybe the key phrase. Holy crap. Because I said, we were there, the clocks, because it was analog clocks, and they were all over the place, and that was the first part of problem. Like, why in the world in the room there were clocks all over the place? And just by the way, analog clocks, different models, even from, I don't know, 18 or maybe 19th century until modern days, but analog clocks. And as I said, what in the world is wrong with the stuff? Clocks start making bananas, like, you know, and then we ended up, holy crap, now I got. So maybe that was the key phrase. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like once you open, I don't know, eShop or whatever, and you've got an account, you've got like login, you know, and then password. Holy crap!
Yeah, you hooked into it.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think that was planned. I think maybe it was a part of your destiny, or that aligned you with maybe. Sometimes I think we know we're supposed to go somewhere, even though it's going to be a weird journey. And, you know, I mean, I'm not saying like, oh, you get in your car and you just start driving and see what happens. But
sorry, I'm just laughing because
I know I've known people that did stuff like that, where they just said, well, I just got in the car and kept driving, and I was curious to see where I'd end up. And you know, that was like years ago when gas wasn't so expensive and people could do things like that. But it is, you know, life is a journey. You know, if you, especially if you're awake and you meditate and you have your third eye is open, that there's always, you know, this point where you have decisions each day of, are you going to step through that? You know, is there, you know what I mean? And especially with you're working with technology, and you know, you have advanced technology around you and ETs, and anything could happen, and even the ETs could entice you into a space out of curiosity.
Yes.
You know, just like, look at this, you know, look over here. And I've seen them do that. And they'll kind of
by the way, I don't want to move crazy with crazy, how can I say it? Move crazy move, but it is like that, move with crazy move. But we know, all of us, we know, because we've got like, once, I don't know when this video will be out, but now once we are recording that, it's October 12th.
It will be out on the 12th, yeah.
But we've got a big problem here, guys. I don't know what the heck is going on. But, and this is it, but here in Aussie land, in Australia, in New Zealand, because it's nearby, and in UK and in Ireland, it's absolutely crazy. It went and it's still going on, absolutely crazy, with Ouija boards. And some people are calling them Ouija, but I think more proper is Ouija, am I right? Ouija is more proper pronunciation. And this is it, guys. Not just like, let's say, do you know what I mean, mass production, new ones, whatever. Older ones, let's say 50, 60 years, let's say 60 or 70 years old plus. So older, right? 50, 60 or maybe 60, 70 years, or yeah, something like that. 60, 70 years old ones and older. Please, guys, don't buy those things. and don't try to make experiments with those things. They are goddamn dangerous. Why I am talking about that? Here in Iran, in Land Down Under, in Australia, in New Zealand, in ZZ as they are calling it, in UK, in Ireland, people went total crazy this year. They are buying them, the old ones, in auctions for crazy amounts of money, and they want to make, I don't know, they want to make. I am not expert in this field, okay? I don't know. What I know, that it is some sort of spirit communicating-ish table.
Yeah, and a portal opening.
Portal opening, of course. And don't dare to try, let's say, to, how can I say it, to provoke some entity or someone or what, somebody or whatever. Don't dare to do that, because it's goddamn dangerous, and believe me, it will never end up well. Please, guys, don't do that. I don't know what's going on. They want to make this in Halloween, this year's Halloween. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I mean, you will say, because you are, this is your field of expertise, but I don't know why exactly this year's Halloween, but I don't know why not in 2021 or 2023. I'm just saying, okay, I don't know why this year, but this is getting crazy. What I know, it is in Scandinavia too, Scandinavia plus Denmark, but it is not that quote unquote hot, not that kind of hype. But in those previous named countries, is total crazy. People are getting few grants, so few thousands of dollars or pounds, or dollars, euros or pounds or whatever. I mean, up to few thousands. It's Jesus Christ. You need to say something about that, because you've got. Sorry, go ahead, because I'm speechless here.
I mean, I remember, Ouija board is kind of something a part of even the American culture. It was almost looked upon as just a game, kind of like Monopoly. And I remember playing it a few times and saying, oh, nothing really happened. It just didn't seem real to me. But then afterwards, feeling like this heaviness and some dark energy. And I know people that would like do ghost hunting and then play with the Ouija board, and then, problems would happen, health problems, bad luck, car crashes, all sorts of weird stuff. It would just open things up for them. But I'm just going to share a little something that happened recently. This being came forward, and I just opened to the astral, and so I see certain things, and on occasion, there's a very nefarious beings will show up. And he said, and this is before you talked about the Ouija board, and I think Taino posted something I thought was interesting, because he said it was something about the word we in a report that he did. And I said,
we is pretty much yes in French.
Right. So, and now you didn't really get into the conversation till afterwards, but I said there was this being that came to me, and he called himself Natas, and he looked really, really bad, and I looked at him. I said, "Well, what do you want?" And immediately, and I realized, like, I thought about it for a second, and I was like, "That's Satan backwards." And I'm like, "All right, great. So who am I talking to here?" And he said that him and who we are, you. He literally said, "I am we." W-E, right? Or I thought it was W-E. And then he went on to say, we the people, like as if he was a patriot. And then I felt like he was completely mocking anything that we care about. And then he called his name Black Bart. And I felt like it was a really old entity and he was trying to push my buttons. And I know that there's like more than one devil or whatever, but, I started to look at the preamble was we the people, I know that they're trying to destroy any type of anything that's helped the U.S. as a nation in the earlier times. But then I looked up Black Bart, and he was some kind of gentleman bandit or whatever. So I want to see if I can find out. And he operated in North California and Oregon in the 1870s and 1880s. And so he was an outlaw. And he wrote poetic messages that he left behind after 2 of his robberies. So these are like these entities that are doing stuff, and he must have been connected to, I think it was Rolf that mentioned this. It sounds like Ouija, or we were all talking, and then you mentioned also the Ouija board. So the Ouija, and yeah, or Ouija, or however you say it. This is a real being, and that came up before you said that something had really opened up. So they've magnified the energy of this Ouija board experience through this devil thing calling himself Natas. And I'm sure if you try contacting him, he probably won't show up. But it's just like they unlock something, and then they have people being able to access like the underworld, or even self-destructive energies coming in to harm the person that opens these things up. So you're not, like some people think, well, I'm going to open up this portal, I'm going to be powerful or whatever. And I think in many cases it does the opposite. It hurts that person, and it hurts the people around them. So I don't play with it, and I work in the astral all the time. I don't go looking for these beings. If they happen to show up because they see that we're trying to help humanity or whatever, or do something that's good, and they don't like that, and so they try to get people distracted in doing nefarious things, and not realizing the big hole that they're digging for themselves. And I can't stress it enough. I know Peter's concerned as well, because it's a snare.
Yes, because it's like, what in the world is going on? It's like, it is not like few hundred people. It's a few hundred people, but dozens of thousands people. Like, what in the world is going on?
And I've never heard like a dark being ever call himself we, like that. I mean, yeah, I've heard them say that they're a collective and they're, all of us do this or whatever, but never like distinctly saying that's my name is we. Yes, right, in French?
Yes. I mean, not written, but via pronunciation or pronounced way. It's we, it means yes. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, because I didn't feel like he was talking about a group of people, but that maybe.
No. I got you. I understand what you mean.
Yeah,
but why people are so? How can I call it? So obsessed with this thing.
Well, here, look at this right here, Peter. It says Christian denominations, including Catholicism, have warned against the use of Ouija boards, holding that they can lead to demonic possessions. Occultists, on the other hand, are divided on the issue, with some claiming it can be a tool for positive transformation, while others reiterate the warnings of many Christians and caution inexperienced users against it. I don't know if you can be an experienced user with these things, because when you open portals, I don't care how long you've been doing it for, you can still get harmed. Or
I never use 1, 2, 3. I never used it because, to be perfectly honest, I've got way too much, way too big respect for that. Like, I don't. Do you know? Do you know? You know that I am soldier, and I can't get scared by something just because of, you know what I mean, random stuff. But I know for sure, I know personally, or let's say by person, priests, Catholic priests, they were making, what is that, you know, once someone is possessed, this process, do you know what I mean? Exorcism? Am I right? Once someone is possessed by something, so they were making exorcism, do you know what I mean?
Exorcism, yeah.
Yes. And I was like, holy crap, this is next level. And do you know what? Those people were killed during the process.
Oh yeah, because the other entity takes over their body, so their soul is very diminished at that point. They don't have a say. That's why they need help.
What?
When a person is possessed, right? So that the other being that steps into their body is more in control of the body. And so when they're trying to get rid of that being out of the body, that it can completely destroy the body or kill it, you know, through
you mean like in physical way?
Yeah.
Holy crap. But I mean those priests, they were killed during the process. Jeez.
Oh yeah, the priests can be killed as well. Yeah, because it's dangerous. Because you're working with a very powerful entity that wants to fight. It's angry.
But why so many people they don't believe, or how can I say it? They are doing this crap just because of curiosity, or I don't know.
Yeah, so what I think is maybe in the past, like my experience, it was like, all right, so this is not a big deal. It's just like a Monopoly game or whatever. And I was wrong.
Stop, please. Are you serious?
Yeah, that's the way they see it.
What?
Because it's been around for so long, they think it's just a fun game.
This is not even close to being funny.
Right.
Sorry that I'm overreacting, but I mean, I think that those people are insane. No, I mean it for real, because as I said, I can't get scared, but once I saw something, it's like, you know, I've got respect and I don't mess with that stuff. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like, nope, I will not mess around with that stuff. And I think those people, I will not watch my language, and I will say my own opinion. From my point of view, those people are simply stupid. Sorry, I'm just saying.
Well, a lot of them are young and they don't know any better. So the people that we're talking to that are listening to the show are less likely the audience that we needed to reach on this. But at least we can get the word out, and then maybe people can share that there's an enhancement and there is some kind of satanic being that approached me that definitely is magnifying this problem.
Give me a second. So you mean like mostly Ouija is the people who are using / misusing, in this case, Ouija board, those people are mostly like who? Like teenagers, late teenagers, or in their early 20s or something like that, you mean?
Or even young teenagers, like preteens.
Oh, that means weak souls. Do you know what I mean? Because they are not experienced. They don't know what in the world is going on with life and what. Holy crap!
Plus they have a more powerful energy in some way because of them being younger, and they're more say it, their abilities are more open, you know.
No, I understand. So they are much easier victims to okay, I got.
Yeah, I would say the age.
No, now I understand. Okay, that makes sense.
Because it's games, it's under the category of games, and who has time to play with games? Not people that are working, 40 to 60 hours a week, but people that are, at home and have time to spare, and that's usually kids. Although with the lockdown, a lot of people are home, but that
no, now I understand. Okay.
I wanted to bring up this also this other item called the Dybbuk box, because this is an example of what can happen. And I know that we've talked about the whole Alistair Crowley situation.
Do you know what? Actually, I am not so familiar with Alistair Crowley. What was his deal? Can you?
Can I get into that after I just talk about the Dybbuk box for a minute?
Okay.
All right. So the Dybbuk box is a wine cabinet that was claimed to be haunted, right? And they call it Jewish mythology. I don't think it's mythology. There was supposed to be a woman that they were doing a seance, which is kind of similar in Poland, and from what they said was that it opened up a portal of some sort, and this entity came out that was so bad that they trapped it in the wine cabinet. So here's someone that supposedly these were older women that were spiritualists and felt like they had control of things. So they sort of tried to isolate it or lock it into kind of like what you do to a jinn. You try to control it and harness it, and they put it in this box. But it introduced and it magnified World War II, in my opinion, when they did this. And this happened in Poland.
Oh no. This is definitely not a coincidence.
So, and it was, this was what it looked like. It looks kind of creepy. See if there was.
Do you know what? Actually, it even looks creepy enough for me, to be honest.
Yeah, I know. This one in particular, the other one.
Holy
yeah, it looks.
Crap.
You can see it feels like it's haunted in a way. Let's see. So Alistair Crowley.
I know that he was some sort of, I don't want to say magician. Who he was? Spiritual leader or so? I don't know.
Yeah, so Alistair Crowley was an English occultist in the 1874. I think he died in 1947. He was a writer. He was considered a prophet. The religion of Thelema, which he started. This is the religion, and he started that in 1912. That's him right there. He must have created the laws and the rules in the novel age. He termed the Aeon of Horus. And let's see if they have any of the teachings here. It looks like it was pseudo Egyptian. So, they have some of the Egyptian so he was kind of tuning into that kind of information. He was also part of the Wiccans. And
what do you think about the Wiccans? I think that they are, I don't want to say evil, but nobody to mess around with. Am I right? Weekends.
Well, yeah, I mean their intention is to use. It depends. I mean, like, I kind of was around Wiccans a lot because of where I lived growing up, and Salem, Massachusetts, is kind of a hub where the witches really were very prominent, probably because of the witch trials that happened in the 1600s. So it was like an opposite effect. And so I've met many people that, feel like they're herbalists. They feel like they're, it's part embracing the female energy and womanhood. And so there's different perspectives in how you look at it, but there are some that are extremely negative and very dark. And yeah, you kind of, it's, I don't know, they could send you something really bad, like bad luck or whatever. But, it's best if you're going to get into that environment, then that's what you're going to be dealing with. And I even worked around a bunch of Wiccans, and they had their shops and everything. It was funny because they would literally like walk by the stores and send curses to, like you'd see them mumbling and pointing at the store and doing things like that. Yeah. Yeah,
Give me a second. Are you serious?
Yeah, so they'd say, oh my God, they're hexing us right now, and so, and they would be jealous with each other, and they'd go back and forth and back and forth, and it was almost like an environment. It's like, geez, that's what, you have to maintain that kind of mindset and interaction with these people that are going around your space. Whereas, if you pull away from that environment, it's just, you can focus on other things and more positive things, I think. But it's about power and who has more power and energy. It's ego based too in a lot of ways. But there are ones that are more like herbalists and healers and that kind of thing, which also call themselves Wiccans. So, but yeah, then there's some that are doing some very negative things, but hey, there's a lot of people in the government that does a lot of negative things too, so a lot of this is the old spiritualist stuff, is like ancient Egyptian thought, and opening up to understand about the metaphysical world and learning different laws. And so that kind of stuff. I think he got into like sex orgies and chaos magic.
What?
Yeah, there's chaos.
Oh man, Jessica, Jesus. Chaos magic. Okay. This is not coincidence.
Okay. Yeah, so I do believe that people bring that in. It's a magical practice.
Please, what does it mean, chaos magic? What does it mean, chaos magic?
It's saying it's let's see if they have the definition here. It's an invented religion. The founding figures of chaos magic believed that other occult traditions had become too religious in character. They attempted to strip away the symbolic, ritualistic, theological, or otherwise ornamental aspects of these occult traditions to leave behind a set of these basic techniques that they believe to be the basis of magic. So the perceptions are conditioned beliefs in the world as we perceive can be changed by deliberately changing those beliefs. Chaos magicians subsequently treat belief as a tool, often creating their own idiosyncratic magical system and frequently borrowing from other magical traditions, religious movements. So it's using the energy probably to create forms of chaos. They also,
do you know what? It looks pretty much. It sounds very similar to what we were experiencing.
So maybe someone is actually manifesting and opening up doorways to create this chaos magic.
But I was talking about the reality we were trapped. Right. Holy moly. And
there's a
what
lot
was
of
Thelema, or
individual.
what is Thelema? What is Thelema?
Thelema is his religion that he created. It's like, you know, his esoteric, you know, like Protestant or whatever, you know what I mean? It's like he created his own version of belief systems, which I believe were based off of spiritualism and the teachings of Hermetics, which is
Okay.
right. And then there's also the Kabbalah. You know about the
I know
Kabbalah,
what
which
is
is
it. I
Jewish
know what is.
traditional view, and Western mysticism. Egyptian teachings. Scientology is another that they're referring to here. Modern paganism, which is the old world beliefs, and like here's the Nordic gods, maybe, or the Celts.
So pretty
And so
much
then there's the
he collected pretty much everything and mixed it somehow.
yeah, saying that there's no limitations. So here's the holy books of Thelema, and it has like you know, probably has all his guidelines and teachings, and probably they pulled from some of the ancient books of magic that they can get a hold of, because it looks like they compiled all of these different things. Because here even they have yoga, and yoga is not like a bad practice, but
No,
yeah, see
definitely
what I'm
not.
saying? Occultism,
No,
but then
no,
we
I
have
understand. I understand.
then to the other spectrum is Satanism, which is like that weirdo that came
This
to me
is
called
bad.
Natan.
This is bad. Yep.
That's Anton LaVey's teaching that he brought in to Hollywood and to other places during the same
And
time.
I want to ask when this happened. Then he was like big no, and they moved to Algeria, if I am not mistaken, or not.
Yeah,
Oh,
it looks like
Egypt,
Cairo, Egypt.
My
Yeah,
bad. My mistake. Sorry, my mistake.
yeah. I guess in California, he and L. Ron Hubbard, who is over Scientology, and Jack Parsons got together, and they opened up a portal in California, and you can see the results of that now. I mean, it was really bad, but I want to bring up something else too that's also involved with Alistair Crowley, and that is let's see.
I want to ask you. Uh, you are doing something.
Okay, so Alistair Crowley claimed that he contacted this being, and he drew a picture of it and began drawing the entity.
Okay.
And the image was looked like a gray alien, and he called him Lamb, Lam, and that's what
Okay.
his
And
drawing looked like. Did you recognize who that is?
yeah, why?
Because that was who was teaching him.
What in the world?
So who is this Lamb? Because he has showed up a few times in the past couple of months around me. I've seen him, and he seems to like chaos.
So you mean like he likes chaos? He?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know who this is, or what species this is?
Yes, and this will be bad. Albert.
Albert?
No, he's pure. He's like I am May. That means pure mayhem because he's like crossbreed / hybrid or whatever, and he is like once you ask him what's your name, he's I'm Albert, and that means I'm Albert. Okay, what does it mean? Don't recognize me? You know, you don't know. I am the ultimate. Do you know what I mean, ultimate?
Yeah.
Albert Einstein. The
Oh my
base.
God. This is
Because
like a never.
Because Ain means one in German, and Stein means stone, one stone, like basic stone, only one stone. So we don't get the species because he's complete like whatever, and he's Albert.
So you're saying this is a version of Albert Einstein? Is Lamb?
No, this is original version of Albert Einstein.
Same species.
No, please, not species. Hybrid / crossbreed.
Same type of hybrid crossbreed.
Yes.
But he's obviously very intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
Jesus, this is crazy, Peter.
What do you mean by crazy? Why?
Well, that he's similar to Albert Einstein, but he's was Albert Einstein into mayhem?
Look, he was talking. Talking pretty much in his not so popular. I mean, not so well-known, worldwide well-known. Labors, theoretical labors about that, about mayhem. Level of mayhem, level of chaos, and that was it. And he was mentally ill, heavily mentally ill. He was schizophrenic. He choked.
Who? Einstein?
Oh, of course. He almost choked his wife almost to death. He had the seizure, the episodic seizure, and then he was he calmed down, and then he start to breathe heavily and goddamn fast, and he just started to write and write and write, and he wrote second part of adjunct. Do you know what I mean? Like addenda to theory of relativity. I can't say that.
Relativity? Theory of
yes,
relativity?
Relativity, yes. It was crazy.
So that was like he maybe tuned into his
yes.
Lamb
yes,
aspect,
yes,
whatever.
Yes.
So do you think Lamb was communicating through him at times as well?
Definitely. Yeah, definitely.
Well, that makes sense, because he makes him look very legitimate, whereas Alistair Crowley, he comes right out and says, I'm kind of I'm anti-system, you know what I mean? He just says, I'm going to do whatever I want. I'm going to live how I want. And he didn't have any kind of morality. He just said, I'm going to, whatever, And Alistair Crowley, he had a place in New Hampshire. He lived in a house in New Hampshire, and according to some people, he is the George Senior Bush's wife, Barbara Bush, supposedly was his love child. Was father, yeah. But so anyhow, aside from that Natas character, this one right here, this Lamb has been showing up, and maybe so. Do you think that possibly the reality that you went to might have been as something that Lamb or Albert was involved in?
Maybe, because as I said, it doesn't make any sense. Like, how in the world someone almost killed his wife, and then second addendum, for theory of relativity. This is crazy. This is like, what in the world? I'm just saying.
So, let's see. So we can get back to the Ouija board. And did you have anything else you want to say about this?
No, I'm just saying it's fine.
Can we talk briefly about the MK Ultra movie, the new movie that just came out?
No, I think that's pretty much fine.
Okay, so and that I don't know if there's any other topics.
No, I think that this is pretty much it what we want to say.
Yeah, so all right, this movie just came out, and it's all the stuff that you've been telling us has been going on. But a lot of people knew about it already. All of the experimentation, and the problem is what you said is it hasn't stopped. And we've
What do you
talked.
mean? What do you mean right now?
The experimentation hasn't stopped. It didn't stop in the
Experimentation
60s for MK Ultra.
Yeah. MK Ultra pretty much started in early 50s, like that.
You could see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes. That's the problem. It started in early 50s, or let's say first half of 60s, and it should be officially, they said it stopped in half of 80s, maybe second half of 80s. They officially said that it was like that, and they said it, they admitted it once US got out of Iraq, Operation Iraqi Freedom in 2011, 2010, 2011. It's not true. Completely not true. They are doing this crap till nowadays. Holy crap! This is, I don't know.
There was another movie that came out a while back called American Ultra, and it also covered some of the experimentations where there's just a regular guy working in a variety shop, like like a 7-Eleven or something, and then he finds out that he's been in these programs this whole time, and that they want to get rid of him. And that movie came out earlier. This movie just came out now. We just started watching it, and it's not a series. It's a movie, but it looks like it's.
But why, please? Why in the world people don't believe that? That's my question.
I don't know. And it's a lot of the information is available, especially if you look up Timothy Leary, who was used by the CIA to experiment with the LSD. But I believe this project was going on before. There was this doctor that's supposedly involved, ex-intelligence officer Joseph Sorrentino, based on a true story, conducted by the CIA in the 1960s, following Dr. Ford Strauss.
But just by the way, LSD was invented in former Czechoslovakia, just by the way. You know that, right?
Yeah, they said it was something from rye, the mold from the rye bread or rye grain.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, that it was invented in Czechoslovakia, just by the way. You know it.
What did they originally create it for?
For better condition of sportsmen, just by the way.
For athletics? So what? So they get like some kind of high or euphoria while they're working out hard?
Something like that. Yeah.
Did any of the nations use that? Was that sold as like?
You know what? I don't know. To be perfectly honest, I don't know. But then it it ended up like, you know, like as a drug, you know, but pretty much the same case. It was with ecstasy. Ecstasy in 60s and 70s was worldwide pretty much used as you know, medicine for heart issues and vein issues, you know, so vein issues, and now with this drug, you know.
Yeah, and then same with Oxycontin.
Yes,
Yeah.
and same stuff with China White, also called China White, what is pretty
Fentanyl.
much fentanyl,
Yeah.
and all of its derivatives, fentanyl, you know.
Yep.
I'm
No,
just
it's
saying.
bad. Yeah. But well, then they get to take advantage of people, and that's the hard part of the movie. You actually see them
Oh,
rushing people, experimenting on them. I've seen, you know, sometimes the real footage is more disturbing. You know, you have like archive footages of some of these experiments, and I've watched quite a few of them regarding Timothy Leary's experimentation. I think there's some people that still remember them. You know, like they've been through it on some other level. I don't know if, you know, how the recall is coming in like that. But or if people are getting experimented in some other reality, but they remember it here. You know what I'm saying?
maybe, yeah.
Yeah. But we don't know. I mean, how approximately does the ACIO have any estimate of how many people might have been affected by these projects? Because it seems like they targeted.
Give me a second, are you serious? We are talking about hundreds of thousands of people. I am not kidding you. We are talking about 5 decades. Oh, sorry, my bad. They started, so 7 decades, my bad. 7
Geez.
decades. 70 years. But I mean, most intense, it was like during Cold War, you know. Now they are only quotes in for last 3 decades, quotes in quotes, maintain mode.
So maybe like prisoners of war, people that were in prison, people that were in prison, mainstream prison,
Yep.
people that were in prostitution. These were the candidates. You know, they would, you know, look for people that nobody would miss or care if they were gone.
Pretty much, yeah.
Unless, yeah.
But like for 4 decades, it was goddamn crazy, believe me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's horrible.
And they were doing crazy stuff. They were, you know, injecting them. And then, holy crap, they were open the skulls. You know what I mean? It was f***ing crazy. They were open the skull. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And yeah, they will not, you know, like got those people under narcosis. They were open the skull and they saw the brain and whatever. Jesus Christ.
Wow. But they show in the movie someone getting a lobotomy. And the insane asylums were also like they're very haunted. I mean, the torture that some of those people went through. I've gone into some of those places, and it's creepy. It's very creepy, and you can still see like the soul or like the ghost, the apparition of people that were suffering, and
I want to ask you. It is like only those people are fury, or they are scared, or what do you think?
All those people. I mean, my heart really goes out because some of those people were actually very psychic, and then they were accused of being insane, or they had some kind of awakening, and it was misinterpreted. And then some people, you know, were very abused at a young age, so that they have imbalances. So there's a lot of, like, you know, really sad incidences of why people end up in those places. And so when they die, they, you know, like there was one local to where I live in Beverly, this town called, no, was it? Yeah, I think it was Beverly, and they, no, I don't think I have the right one. But anyhow, I'd have to look it up. They had to close it down. It was really bad, and they said that people were just like laying on cement floors with no clothes on and just, you know, not properly fed. And yeah, it was really horrible.
Give me a second. What?
Yeah.
Jesus.
I mean, this is kind of getting into like a gory kind of show, but it's unfortunate that unless we are aware of these things, then we can't speak out about them and, you know, ask.
Give me a second. So you mean that they were just leaving them lying on the floors?
Yeah, some of them were very, very mistreated.
Holy crap.
And you know, it's interesting because this is that time of year where there's Halloween and all that kind of stuff going on. And yeah, it was in Danvers, Massachusetts. And I had a really strange experience. I was driving by the insane asylum there, and it was already closed at that time. And a friend of mine pointed out, they said behind those woods, that's where that Danvers mental hospital was, and a Danvers State Hospital. And all of a sudden, someone showed up to me, or they showed me an image, and I could see a man wearing a like a lab coat.
Mm-hmm.
And then they showed him like experimenting on people and doing lobotomies and operations on people and electro shock treatments. And I'm like, oh my God, they're showing me this man. And I could see him, and he had his hair was parted on the side, and it was almost like slick, like he put some oil in it or something, and it was very short. He was wearing black glasses. And I said, oh, that's they said he tortured us. And I said, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope that you can, you know, go to a better place from here. And they said, we want you to see something. And we were going to the store, so we pulled into the store, and we couldn't find parking in front of the store that we were going to go to, but there was another store that we parked in front of, and there was this guy standing there that worked in that store. And so I don't know why, but I felt like, all right, why don't you go over? And I said to my friend, why don't you go over and take care of what you need to take care of over there? I'm going to go in here. And I walked in there, and the guy's looking at me, and he says, do you need something here? And I'm like, yeah, I was just going to look around. Immediately, I felt uncomfortable. And he looked really miserable, and he had dark hair, and he had his hair parted on the side. And then they talked to me, the ghosts talked to me and said, that's the man who tortured us, and we're making his life miserable here. And the guy looked really, really miserable. He was like in his 30s, but he was one of the I don't know, doctors or whatever from a previous life. So after he died, those ghosts stuck around.
No, I gotcha. Oh,
yeah,
crap.
I know. So that's a real Halloween story, you know, of these terrible things that happen. But
Okay.
yeah, there was something else I was going to bring up, but maybe I'll have to bring it up for another time.
From my point of view, this is pretty much all what I just want to share.
Yeah, I was going to just show real quick to people American Ultras, the other movie that they should watch. And this is about, you know, this young guy that figures out that he's like a super soldier. He can fight. He kills someone with a spoon by accident, or he doesn't realize it, but he goes into fight mode. And he's got some kind of corporation that's he has a handler. Oh, it's a CIA agent. Yeah, it's been a while since I watched it, and that came out in 2015. But okay, so
From
here we are.
my point of view, it's pretty much all what I want to share for today, and I think, let's say it's time to say goodbye. And only one last thing, I wanna say thank you very much for another opportunity to be on your channel, and that's it. And say thank you for our listeners for their patience that they stay with us till the end. Hold tight. Bye bye.
Yeah. Thank you, Peter, and thank you, everyone. We appreciate your support, your help, and for being with us. Some of you have been with us for many years. We truly do appreciate you, and we are expecting good information to keep coming in, and also keeping you informed the best that we're able to do so. Have a good day, everyone.
You have been listening to the Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Marrocco. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Visit www.acio-agency.org and www.readingsbyariel.com. Post your questions and comments below. We look forward to hearing from you. Feel free to support our work. All the links can be found in the description. Thank you.